What is going on, guys? It is I, Deimos, and today we're going to quickly go over the new patch notes for the upcoming Chaos Theory Collection event, and we're going to go over some of the new stuff they added, the legend buffs and nerfs, the bug fixes, all of that good stuff. So let's get right into this. Also, quick plug, I'm live every day over on Twitch from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. EST. I'd love to see all of you in there, and all my links can be found below. Starting with the actual event itself, the Ring Fury Escalation Takeover. Now, this is introducing heat shields and a survival slot that will last until after the event's over. So basically it's going to be here for the event, and then once the event ends, it's still going to be in the game. The heat shields, whenever I saw this actually in the trailer, I was like, okay, I can definitely see them adding this to the game as a legend ability or maybe an item, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. So basically how this thing works is if you're in the storm, you throw it down, it puts this ring up that protects you from the storm damage, and on top of that, you also are going to get sped up healing and revives. The healing is going to go up by 50%, and the revive speed is going to be increased by 25%. This bonus is only given to heat shields that have been activated by the ring. Heat shields on standby in the safe zone are conserving energy and do not grant this bonus. I think this is a really good thing, actually. And I think it's really good because it gives you a chance, if you're down in the storm, to actually heal. And if you get revived, for example, it gives you a chance to heal and then not die. So basically, I don't know what ring it is now. It's probably 3 now, but before it was 2 before the nerf. If you went down in the storm, you couldn't even get a syringe off on round 2 before they nerfed it. If you went down in round 2, you were pretty much dead unless you were close to the actual ring where the safe zone was. But if you weren't, you were going to die because the syringes, you couldn't get them off in time. So I think this is a good thing. And also what this tells me is that these bubbles probably don't last very long. 50% heal item speed and then 25%. This probably only really gives you enough time to get someone up and maybe get a med kit off, and then it's probably going to start taking some serious damage by the storm and will go away. And that's how they go away. They're not on a timer, they're on a damage counter. So basically how it works is if you have your heat shield up, it's going to slowly degrade in power as it's damaged by the ring. The damage of the ring is reflected in the duration of the heat shield, so don't expect it to last very long in final rounds. So it's not going to last the same amount of time as if you put it in round 1 as it would if you put it down in round 5. The storm damage plays a role in how long it lasts, and it goes in your survival slot. This is also a really good change, I think, adding a survival slot, because now you can take mobile respawns and these and not have to worry about dropping something more important for it, like the mobile respawn. You don't even know if you're really going to need that. I never grabbed them. No one I know grabs them because they're kind of just a waste of a slot, but now that they're in their own category, now you have no reason to not grab one. So I think this was actually a really good idea, and I can imagine more items are going to be added that will go in that slot. But as of right now, mobile respawn and heat shields will go in the slot. So now we're going to talk about the escalation takeover, because this is actually different than the normal takeovers. Ring Fury is an escalation takeover, which means every few days during the event we're going to turn some knobs to crank up the prevalence, timing, and size of ring flares. And by the end of the event, you can expect 5 different stages of escalation. Exciting. So this is interesting. I'm sure on the first day, it's kind of to give you a chance to adjust, maybe. So I'm interested to see how it goes from in the beginning to then at the end, if it's like super crazy, a bunch of ring flares that last a long time and they're really big and things like that. No fill matchmaking, I think this is a really good change. Basically how it works is if you want to drop solo and in trios and you really don't want to fuck over your team or get shit talked the whole time, you can just unclick fill teammates and you'll actually go into that lobby alone. Same for duos. I'm sure if you have like you and your friend in trios, you can also do it, so that way it's just you guys. I think this is a really good change, and it's a good way to let people who want to play alone without affecting their team. There are some limitations in place for it though, which actually make a lot of sense, and I'm really glad they did this because they don't want it to interrupt the game experience and pacing for other players because you want to drop solo. They're only allowing 6 potential no-fill players in any match, and the feature is not available in ranked, obviously, and I think that limiting it to 6 people in a match is a great idea and a great way to introduce this, so that way you're not just running into solos all the time. This is a good idea. The mini battle pass for this event is also looking pretty good. I'm excited for these charms. I'm excited for this Horizon skin. Looks like it could be pretty good. This Eve 8 skin is cool, and this Kraber skin is also really cool. I'm very excited for the Kraber skin, personally. All the other skins looking really good. We have a Revenant skin, looks awesome. Gibraltar skin looks pretty good. The Loba skin, I'm very excited for this. Pathfinder skin, pretty good. Looks like a fork, honestly. But the Bangalore heirloom also is looking very nice. I definitely want this in my heirloom collection, even though I don't play Bangalore that often. Now we're going to get into the good stuff, the legend updates. And we're going to start with Caustic. So, Caustic's Nox Gas Grenade cooldown has been increased from 2.5 minutes to 3.5 minutes. Very good change. I think this is a good idea whenever I play Caustic, especially whenever I had played him after I really hadn't played him before for like at all. Like I hadn't played Caustic like at all, and then I started playing him for a little bit just to kind of see what it was all about. And I was very, very surprised at how often I had that ultimate ability. The Nox Gas damage is now at a flat rate of 5 per tick instead of ramping up from 6 to 12. I imagine per tick, and per tick is about every second now. I'm interested at this damage change. I'm not going to say it was a bad change. I think it's a good idea to making him weaker. Although 5 damage as a flat rate, I feel like that's a little low. Honestly, I would have been more comfortable with something maybe in the 6 or 7 mark. 5 per tick, we'll see if his gas is actually even good anymore. He's definitely not going to be killing people like he used to. I know that much just based off of the 5 per tick. His ult only lasts, I think, like 20 seconds, something like that. It doesn't last very long, so I'm very interested to see if this is even going to be... His Nox Gas 100% is going to be less deadly than it used to be, which is a good thing. I agree with that change. We'll just see how this goes. Caustic will definitely not be as annoying after this. I know that much. Pathfinder removed low profile. Great change. Pathfinder really needed this too because his hitbox is absolutely massive. This was a really good change. I know Pathfinder mains are rejoicing right now. Good change. Gibraltar removed 15% faster heal item usage while in Dome of Protection. I'm not very surprised about this, honestly. I've been saying for a while that I think they're trying to get away from fast healing in general with like the legendary shield nerf change. How instead you don't get like that fast heal and now it does double the healing, which is still fast heal but not like it used to be. Lifeline no longer has fast heal. Gibraltar now is not going to have that fast heal. They're definitely trying to get away from it, except for like the heat shield, but that's for a completely different purpose. That's not part of the fast heal that I'm talking about. But I think this is a good change, honestly. It kind of gives Gibraltar less utility, so that's good because Gibraltar has plenty of utility. He's probably one of the best legends in the entire game right now. If you ask me at least. Horizon increased Black Hole cooldown from 2 minutes to 3 minutes. Good change. Horizon needed a bit of a nerf, honestly. Like, I'm not saying she's OP, but she definitely is extraordinarily strong, and the Black Hole is very annoying. So, I personally am glad for this change. Revenant Silence will now disable Mirage's cloaked revives and respawn, as well as Octane's Swift Mend. This change makes sense. If you don't know what Octane's Swift Mend is, it's basically how he passively generates 1 health per second just for being out of combat. So yeah, this change does make sense. Watson now has a passive shield regen at 0.5 HP a second, half of Octane's current health regen rate now. I think this is a good change, honestly. Watson kind of is like the shield character, I guess, with her pylon that gives you shield, so I'm not surprised they did this. I do have to wonder, though, it's not listed, but if Revenant Silence will disable this for Watson, I imagine it will. It's not listed, though, so I'm not too sure how those two are going to interact. Rampart explosives damage amp cover normally instead of inflicting 200 damage, and explosives damage Sheila normally instead of inflicting 175 damage. I'd say this is probably a good change for Rampart. Rampart is very underwhelming, and I think this might be a step in the right direction to making her actually be able to get the chance to do what she's meant to do, which is hold a spot down and then use like the Sheila or whatever. So I think this is a good change. We'll see how it affects Rampart's like pick rate and win rate and things like that. Weapon updates, weapon optics, all AR, all gold AR and LMG default optics updated to the 2x bruiser. This is a very good change. I'm very, very glad they did this. I think everyone honestly is glad they did this. This is a good change. Mastiff pellet damage decreased from 13 to 11. Okay. Fire rate increased from 1 to 1.1. Okay, so I honestly don't really know if this was a good move. I know the Mastiff definitely needed to be nerfed. I did not think they were going to. I figured honestly that they actually would do something with the damage. The fire rate increase I didn't see coming. Honestly, my ideal Mastiff nerf, I guess, from my own point of view, would be to leave the damage alone and to just nerf its fire rate a little bit. The Mastiff shoots incredibly fast from blue bolt and up. The no bolt and level 1 bolt, yeah, it's kind of shit, the fire rate. But once you level up those bolts, it actually is really, it shoots really fast. I don't know if it needs a damage decrease, because what I personally would imagine now is what's going to happen, because it's already happening. I've said this on my live stream and I've said this to my friends, is I'm seeing personally a lot more EVA 8s being brought out because of just how fast you can shoot them with purple bolt. I honestly was completely unaware how much of an automatic weapon that bad boy is whenever you get a purple bolt on it. And I'm seeing a lot of EVAs, and this I really think is, I'm going to be seeing a lot more EVA 8s. But I don't really know what's going to happen with the Mastiff. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I personally would have just nerfed the fire rate, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with it all. But it definitely did need a nerf. I'm glad it's here. I really hope that the EVA 8 doesn't become much more prevalent, because I'm telling you that thing with purple bolt, it dumps on you big time. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the shotguns. We'll see. Wingman, what +1 bullet to every magazine size, including base. Good change. I like this. Honestly, I didn't really think it was needed, but I'll take it. You know, I like using the Wingman. +1 bullet gives you that one more chance to hit something, so I'll take it. I don't think it's gonna break the gun or anything. Hemlock increased hipfire spread. This was probably needed, honestly. The Hemlock's hipfire is very good. I think all weapons in this game should have good hipfire, because the game just has good hipfire in general. But the Hemlock, I can agree with this. The hipfire on that gun is incredibly good. So hopefully this doesn't do anything too crazy to it, which I don't think it will. But I can see why they did this. It was probably a decent change. Quality of life changes. Kings Canyon loot. We've done a pass on the loot to bring up the quality across the map, while also maintaining a certain amount of loot after Mirage Voyage has flown away. The wooden shacks across the map will now have a few more pieces each, and generally be a little bit better quality. That's a good change, honestly. I like that, because sometimes those buildings just have a bunch of shit in them. Spotted Lake has been reduced to medium quality from high. Spotted Lake is a big area, and I really don't actually think this is going to change the loot too much, just because of the size. There's a lot of loot to be found there. Hopefully this doesn't like make the spot horrible or anything. I don't think it will, but yeah, we'll see. Crash Site has redistributed the loot in the area slightly. I don't really know exactly what that means. We'll have to wait and see. The amount stays the same, but the higher quality loot should be in the ship. Oh, okay, so it looks like the amount is going to be the same, but all the really good stuff will be in the ship. Okay, I can see that. That's a hot spot anyway, so I like that change. Caustic treatment has more loot than water treatment, and it remains high quality. I think this is a good change as well. Caustic treatment is probably going to be a hot spot, just because it's a caustic spot, and it's obviously more dangerous to go over there because it's going to be all stinky and stuff, so I can see this. Locked weapon optic swapping. For weapons with fully locked attachment slots like the fully kitted gold weapons and most crate weapons, you can now remove the optic and replace it with a different sight. This does not apply to the Kraber. I'm glad it doesn't apply to the Kraber, and I'm glad they did this. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. This and where the fuck was it? This and the gold AR and LMG optics change to 2x bruiser. Great changes. I'm very glad they did this. Everyone has been asking for this, and I'm glad they finally did it. Assists have been added to the in-game HUD next to kills. This was already present in ranked and now has been added to unranked. Assists still don't contribute to XP. This has been replaced by the spectator eye icon. Or this has replaced the spectator eye icon. Okay, I don't really know why they did this. Especially if the assists don't count for anything in unranked. Maybe, I don't really know why they did this. But I wonder if now you can't see if someone's watching you in unranked, just like they can in ranked. Maybe this will help with cheating. So that way if like there's a cheater that kills you and you're spectating, they won't know you're watching, so they can't like turn off their stuff or whatever, because it's definitely happened to me before. Someone has like all headshot my whole team, and then we spectate them and they can't hit anything. So, good. We'll see. I mean, I don't really know if this is a good or a bad change. I don't really know why they did it, especially if the assists still don't count towards anything, but whatever. Assist and knocks been added to your squad's banner and will show at the end of the match. Knocks I get, but assist, I don't know. Maybe so you can feel like you helped more than you did if you got 0 kills. Club names now appear on match summary and champion screen if all players are part of the same club. Okay. Items will no longer stick to crafting replicator when dropped on the replicator. That's nice. So what they're talking about is like if you have a sight on your weapon and then you get a digital threat, for example, your old sight would just sit on the replicator. So that's a good, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a good change. It's not a bad change. It's just a quality of life improvement. Badge progress. I don't know why they didn't have this sooner. It's taken them way too long to add this, but I'm glad they did. And like it says right here, if you have like, if you need 50 wins, it'll actually show you where you're at. So that is nice. Ping my death box. When you're respawning on a dropship, you can now ping your own death box to help you locate it easier. Good change. Gold backpack. This is actually an interesting change. Players being revived by a gold backpack will have a crackle of energy based on their tier of armor they wear. While the revive is taking place, they will also display the armor heal effects while the revive is finished. This change should help players prioritize pushing a revive in progress. This is a nice change. I think it makes sense, so that way you can know if someone's being revived by a gold backpack, because that is definitely important information that you want to know. So I like this change. I don't think it's going to break anything. I don't think it's going to make anything bad. I think it's a good change in general. Players on PC can now go back to the title screen from the lobby to allow switching of data servers without restarting the game. This is a good change. I don't use it very often myself, but sometimes I do want to switch servers and they're really bad, and I'm glad I can now do it without quitting the game. Added numbers to the advanced look controls. I don't know what this is, but if it's helpful, I'm glad they added it. When scanning a beacon for ring 6, you should now be able to see the location where ring 6 finishes. Okay, that's nice, I guess, if you're lucky enough to be in a ring that deep with a beacon. Inspect weapon. Since the survival slot took its button on controller, GG's controller, inspect weapon has been moved to the emote wheel by default. It can still be bound to any key on PC, so that's good. RIP controller players who want to kunai flip and stuff. I am sorry, you can't do that anymore. Bug fixes. Gibraltar corrected an issue with Gibraltar not getting hit registrations while simultaneously ADSing or releasing ADS and shooting while his gun shows up. I don't even know what that is. I've never seen it. Wraith player can no longer cancel into the void by jumping at a wall. I'm glad they did that. The new skydive emote will now work with legendary skins. I'm also very glad they did that, because all yesterday on my live stream I was like, where the heck is my top portal? Fixed a bug that was causing Nox gas to flicker for some players affected by it. For Octane, repeatedly using the same jump pad no longer disables double jumps. Players are no longer allowed to glide along a wall after using the jump pad. Crypto's animation to bring out his drone is no longer skippable by throwing a hollow spray. Crypto can no longer teleport to a replicator. Reloading the Mastiff and the 3030 will no longer be faster while in Crypto's drone. Loba fixed a few areas where Loba could teleport that would get her stuck. Oh, that bracelet is something else. Rampart players can no longer use Sheila to get under the world when placed too close to the Phase Runner and Olympus. Good change. Horizon fixed a gravity lift falling through the floor when used on the train tracks in World's Edge Sorting Factory. Using a zipline after a gravity lift will no longer increase accuracy. Fuse, Motherload will now damage and destroy jump pads. And when under a small enclosure, players will no longer be pushed out after using Motherload. Players can also no longer double their grenades after looting a dead Fuse's death box. Mastiff, dropping and picking up the Mastiff will no longer cause it to reload. 3030 repeater. Dropping and picking up the 30-30 will no longer cause it to be reloaded. 30-30 will now have spread deviation when ADS firing and jumping. And miscellaneous fixed a bug preventing Steam users from sending friend requests to each other. Usernames will now update when a user swaps between Origin and Steam. And fixed a bug preventing players from creating or joining clubs due to their EA account already being associated with another platform. These were some good patch notes. These were very good. I'm very, very glad that they did a lot of these things. A lot of these changes are actually, I'd say pretty much every change on this list is good, except we'll have to wait and see what happens with the Mastiff and Caustic. I'm definitely not saying that Caustic didn't need work. He did. I just don't really know if this was it, but we will see. And the Mastiff, we will see how that whole thing goes. The Mastiff is definitely not going to be very good anymore. It's still going to be usable, I think, but it's not going to be what it used to be, which is good. I just really hope we don't see a million EVA 8s running and gunning. But anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed. I am so sorry that this week I've been slacking on the videos. I just have had a lot going on, and I've been kind of in a slump, but I am working out of it, and I plan to resume normal uploads on Monday. Thanks everyone for sticking with me, and thank you all for all the support you have been giving me. I really appreciate it, and I will see all of you in my next video.